Hey, we're live. Hi,
Hi!
Tess.
Magandang umaga sa Pilipinas, magandang gabi dito sa US.
Good evening, Florida. Good evening. Oh, good afternoon, California.
Yeah, good afternoon, California. Yes.
And in the Philippines, magandang umaga. And wherever you are in the world, it's either good morning, good afternoon, or good evening.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Tess, I'm so happy to have you today for today's episode of Making House Calls. Um, Full disclosure, Tess is my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
She's she's visiting with us today. She's a she has a business. She's an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
but she's a guest today on a different capacity as a representative of a group that has several forms of advocacy in the Philippines. Correct, Tess?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay, so Tess, first of all, um, tell me where you grow up in the Philippines.
Um, I grew up in this little town called Lala. It's in Lanao del Norte. That's the south of the Philippines, the very south of the Philippines. And yeah, it's literally in the middle of nowhere. But I love the place. It's beautiful. The people are beautiful. So, and I love visiting there all the time. Yes. In
Is
Mindanao.
there
It's the third geographical division in the Philippines because Philippines is divided into three geographical divisions, and Mindanao is the third. Yes.
exactly now? Is there a childhood experience in the Philippines that kind of helped you mold into who you are today?
Absolutely. I grew up with number one, my parents. They were so making sure that you do a lot of work. It's like work is very important to them. You have to do a lot of work. You cannot be lazy. um, you have to be better than I have to say that they always want us to be better than anyone. So growing up, I always have this idea that I'm better than you, whoever I'm in front with. I always thought like I'm better than you. Of course, now that I'm older, I'm like, that's a lot of, you can't think that way.
Mhm.
We're all equal. But as far as like the your capabilities, we always thought that way. That has given me the drive all this time to always work so hard to be where I am. So so number one. And then I had so much support with especially my high school teachers. My high school teachers and my principals, they love me. The principal loved me. They supported me. And in college, the same thing. The professors, the deans, they are my support group. And so I always wanted to like do better, and I always wanted to show to them that I can do better for myself, for the community, for the people, hopefully for the country as a whole. you know
So is there a let me just back up a little bit. Can you just quick background of what you do currently?
oh, currently I run a consulting firm. For work, that's what I
Mhm.
do. I have a consulting firm. We do provide services here in the US. um, we we focus on defense contracts, and so that's 100% of actually what we do. We don't do anything else. So we do defense contracts, and we do provide services for the contractors that provides services for the government. And then and so the services actually manage. So we manage businesses, we manage projects. um, and it's really fun doing it. It's fun trying to teach people how to do their job, giving them work. So I love it. I hope that I will never have to quit doing it because it's something that I really like. Yeah. So
Now, moving forward, going, currently, so you're part of a group or groups that
yeah.
has
So
several advocacies, types of different advocacies in the Philippines. Can you tell us something about the groups or group?
yeah. So for the last maybe 35 to 40 years, I have met and become a close friend of Yolanda Stern. She is a philanthropist that's from Northern California. I used to live in California for 24 years. And ever since then, we remain in contact. And then I always supported her with all the projects that she has in the Philippines. And she made me vice president of international projects in the Philippines. So in we do a lot of work. One World Institute had provided a bunch of um, medical missions in the Philippines. The One World Institute. Yes, we do provide free surgeries and vision and all that. So right now, most of our officers in that, it belongs to the Lions Club. So we
Mm-hmm.
made the Lions Club, the San Francisco Cosmopolitan Lions Club, a partner for our project. So that's why you will see a logo next to the One World
Mm-hmm.
Institute, because we made them a partner of our projects. But because of my connection with Yolanda Stern and what I, you know, I believe on her projects. So not only that, every calamity that the Philippines encountered, we were like always there on foot. We have we have like an army of service
Mm-hmm.
people,
Mm-hmm.
like in the ground in the Philippines wherever they are, and we have strategic positioning in the entire country. We were
Mm-hmm.
like one of the first people that were there during the Yolanda tidal
Typhoon
wave
Yolanda.
in yeah, Typhoon Yolanda. And that shows how we are strategically positioned everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all our volunteers are free. We don't None of the funds from One World Institute goes to pay anybody.
Mm-hmm.
We are all volunteers, and if we have an employee, it's not from One World Institute, it's from our pockets. So we want to make sure that anybody who gives money to our projects, 100% goes to where it's supposed to be. And so not only that, we have wheelchair, and we
Mm-hmm.
provided over 5,000 free wheelchairs in the Philippines. um, we have gardening for food in the Philippines during the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
In 2014, I decided to create this group called Gardening for Food in the Philippines, because I'm an avid gardener. I
Mm-hmm.
love gardening. I love because I go back to my backyard and I harvest, what I can. Um, and then when COVID came in the Philippines, when the lockdown happened, 3 days later, the Philippine government were giving food to the people, but after 3 months, it ran out.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought,
Right.
when you have a garden in your backyard, wherever
Mm-hmm.
you are, even a patio, you can have a garden, and in 2 to 3 months you have food, and if you continue, you will always have food.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to start you know advertising it, making it known, and posting and making it all public, so that I wanted to see where I can help them or inspire and motivate people to start gardening.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I decided to start that. And almost immediately, the membership, from like we were only like 350 members in that
Mm-hmm.
group from 2014, and we were just like 9,000 right away. And then we were just like going more and more and more, and now to like almost 300,000. So another project that we have is like, we have a House of Hope for One World
Mm-hmm.
Institute, and it's in Davao, where we help we house some victims of different kinds of stuff. And then
Okay.
and then with cancer patients and help their mothers, afford to be near the hospital. We have uh, we also have a it's called a barbering training,
Okay.
where um, we also have a barbering training where
Hmm.
people in the prison, what are they going to do when they go out, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what we
Hmm.
do is, before they come out, we train them to become barbers.
Hmm.
Then they actually get a certificate, that a license. And then once they have that license, now they're certified and licensed barbers. The minute they get out of jail, that's when we hand
Hmm.
them the first um, their kit. So now they can go out and have a job instead of not knowing what to do.
Is that
So those,
specific? Do you choose? Oh, I mean, do you? Where is it? Where do you? Where do you? How do you choose which region of the Philippines
well,
you will target?
right now we're focusing in Davao, but
Hmm.
we're
Okay.
hoping to like spread it.
Hmm.
So, so we have a lot of graduates already in Davao.
Hmm.
So hopefully soon we can do that. And we're also like doing school programs in Mindoro. We have a library um, in the name of Dr. Thomas Stern. He was the co-founder, and he passed away in 2017. And his wife Yolanda Ortega Stern is the co-founder, and so we built a library in Mindoro on his behalf. So that's going on over there. We do have in Cotabato, we have in next month when I arrive, we're gonna have a school that we help
Hmm.
build along with some other partners. Um, we help build to so that the students will not have to walk so long in the morning to
Okay.
go to town
Yeah.
to go to school. So we have a
Hmm.
lot of projects going on. Yolanda has been so active in there's I know that we have partners, but most of the funding is really coming you know, from the officers like myself and Yolanda
Hmm.
mostly, um, the funding for it. So it's really good. I totally 100% support her and respect her for all the work that she does.
What were your initial challenges as far as, especially when you started? What was your most difficult challenge?
Well, the challenge at the beginning is always like, how am I gonna fund? How am I gonna fund this
Hmm.
project?
Yeah.
Especially
Hmm.
because I focus a lot on the gardening, on production of food, because right now, high percentage of the Filipinos are forced to hunger, you know, and they don't have a choice. So
Hmm.
I really feel that they can just clean up an empty space and do garden or garden anywhere. So I feel that. The government is giving seeds, but the seeds that they give to the people they're not organic, and they're dipped in like very tough materials, or insecticides and all that stuff, and then they give the people fertilizers that are synthetic fertilizers. So
Hmm.
I'm really trying to get people to get away from that, so and do organic, produce your own fertilizer. So in order to do that, the people has to have seeds that are heirloom seeds, because
Hmm.
heirloom seeds, you can produce your own seeds, and you can start banking seeds, and then you can replant on your own. But the heirloom seeds are not cheap, and
Where do they come from?
US.
Okay.
Yeah, so I literally bought seeds
Hmm.
for the Philippines, and so I gave so much seeds, but at the same time, so that was my challenge, is the money, because
Hmm.
I'm an employee, or I have a business, but it's like I have money to support my employees, and I do have some extra, so I do use it, and it makes me happy to be able to do it, but I need more. Like,
Hmm.
for example, this 300,000 pesos, that right now the shortage of onions, you
Yeah.
can't even
Hmm.
buy onion seeds in the Philippines. And and some people are went to jail for smuggling
Bringing it
onions to
in.
the Philippines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I do now is I bought so many heirloom seeds that are onions,
Hmm.
and they're very expensive. Like each buy is like $1,400, for example. and I cannot, and with that $1,400, I can only give it to so much members. So every quarter you have to buy that, and then whoever didn't get it the last time, we whoever didn't get it the last time will get the
Mhm.
next quarter. So every quarter we send onion seeds. And at the same time, because I don't want to be sending seeds all the time, so as much as I want to, it's also like it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
train them how to produce your own seeds, how to bank your seeds, so
Mhm.
that way the seeds will last long, and to make sure that whatever seeds I give you, if I give you 100 seeds, at least only 3 onions. You need to make sure that they flower, they produce seeds, and then you
Mhm.
keep them for the next planting. And that's all. 3 onions. 3 onions will produce so much seeds. And then if you produce more, you can even like share it with others, new
Mhm.
gardeners, for example,
Mhm.
share it with them, and or you can barter them with other seeds that you don't have, or you
Mhm.
can even sell. And then it's really like, I'm so happy to actually say that some of my members became seed organic and uh, heirloom seeds business people now,
Mhm.
and all from their backyards. So they grow all these vegetables that are heirloom, and then they produce seeds, and then
Mhm.
they sell it, because before you can hardly find heirloom seeds, and that's the only way to survive in the Philippines. Because if you buy hybrid seeds, when you're done, you have to go back and
Mhm.
buy again, and then you become dependent on the seed commercial people,
Mhm.
seed businesses, because you have to go back and buy seeds every single time. But if you have heirloom seeds, you don't have to do that. So that's why I decided to, like, these people has to learn how to produce their own seeds, bank them, trade
Mhm.
them, sell them, barter them, and it's amazing, because like we have a project right now in Cotabato where we have about 500 indigenous people coming to my organic training and farming.
Mhm.
We needed to give them seeds as their startup kit, and we also give them organic fertilizers for
Okay.
their startup kit, each person. So it's about maybe 12 package of different seeds.
Mhm.
That's a lot of seeds. If imagine, I know that I bought a little part of it, but if I buy all that seeds, it's gonna cost me a lot of money. But because all these 3 years of training my members, every single one of them were just so generous and donated their extra seeds. And we have so much extra
Mhm.
seeds that went to Cotabato. We just shipped them last week, and ready for our meeting, for our training when I arrived. So I'm very, very happy. I'm very proud of my members for being so generous and actually donating their extra seeds for all our, because we do for our adopted community, because
Mhm.
each time we adopt a gardening community, we provide starting kits, we provide training. So I actually bring in my master gardener, I
Mhm.
bring in my agriculture or certified agriculturist in the
Yes.
Philippines,
Mhm.
and myself. The three of us will go to these places and we actually perform the training. And we advertise it first, and then they come, and everything is free. No one has to pay for anything.
So this
And
is not just handing over seeds, then they're left
oh
on their own.
no, because I do not believe
Mhm.
in handouts.
Yeah.
I do not. I am completely against handouts. I
Mhm.
want to train people to actually be able, yeah, at the beginning, I give them something, but with what I give them, I want
Mhm.
to teach them how to produce it themselves. So that
Okay.
way, my giving will not be eternal, you
Mhm.
know? So, and it's good for them. It's a boost of morale for them.
Mhm.
And I was just so amazed on how much people love it. So now, and I have about 295,000 members right now. And by the time I arrive, we will have about 300,000 members.
So
Uh,
are these members, what's the percentage of them are really active in gardening?
well,
Every
they
one of
are
them?
all active, because that's the reason why they became a member.
Mhm.
but 30% of my membership is OFWs. So they are not in the country. So they are living in the outside the country. But but I accept them as a member because I know one day they come back in the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so when they come back, the only thing that the OFWs will not get while they're out of the country is the assistance of seedlings and all that. But they
Mm-hmm.
can attend our online training because we do have online training. um, we do have we have online and we have like in-person training.
Mm-hmm.
uh, so and I am very happy with our OFWs because they're so active and they're just so inspired,
Mm-hmm.
and they have families in the Philippines that they inspire to start gardening, and it's really for gardening. So, but I have to say, we have maybe about 5% that are commercial gardeners,
Okay.
commercial farming, and what they do is they sell. So we don't want our group to be full of people selling. So I
Mm-hmm.
allow them to sell every Friday, and then that's it. Um, and it's good, and they can only sell organic stuff, and they can only sell gardening stuff, and they have to be organic.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not organic, we delete them.
Question about organic. So okay, so when they use organic fertilizers, right?
Hmm.
Is
Or you
it
make it yourself.
they make it themselves? Okay, that's my
Or you can
actual
buy it
question.
too.
Mm-hmm.
We can buy it too. A lot of the fertilizers that we give as a starter kit
Mm-hmm.
is mostly a seaweed fertilizer. So it's a really organics made from seaweed. And it's
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very good. I mean, it's like I love that fertilizer. I use it here in the US as well. We
Mm-hmm.
have one that's seaweed, and then you only spray, which is really good because you spray. And
Mm-hmm.
um, it is just amazing how what the seaweed can do, how much nutrients it has, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very organic. And I always like try to teach them that you could, instead of how growing up in the Philippines, I know you grew up in the Philippines where people
Mm-hmm.
nagwawalis sila, they clean their yard and then they burn their leaves. That you should not do that anymore. You can just dig a hole somewhere where you put all
Mm-hmm.
your leaves that you sweep in your yard, and
Mm-hmm.
then make it, and make it a compost. Compost is very good fertilizer. And then so so that's what I'm trying to, and a lot of people, and I told them that we really have to minimize the burning, the also
Mm-hmm.
pausukan ng mga trees and
Yeah.
stuff. We have to minimize that. If there are times that we cannot get away with it, if we have really bad infestation in that tree, but we cannot do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really minimize it because it's really bad. um we're also trying to get our people to be aware of the environmental issues that we have. Philippines is actually the number one ocean polluter in the world. Philippines, and it's embarrassing, but knowing not but because I have so much experience and connection with the people in the Philippines, that I know that it's not the Filipinos fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually like trash from another country that the Philippine sent to the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not managed properly, and it
Mm-hmm.
was even to the ocean. But at least it's not because the people are so negligent about the environment
Mm-hmm.
on their day-to-day lives. So I'm impressed because like I'm happy to find out that it's not really from the Filipino usage and production of trash, but and hoping that the Philippines would stop accepting trash from other countries. I think maybe they have already. I think I
Mm-hmm.
heard they did, but I'm not sure exactly if they did.
So if there's maybe a community, or maybe I should say, if someone's interested to be a part of the group,
Mhm.
what's the steps? What are the procedures to follow?
Well, we are very active in Facebook. So we have a group called Gardening for Food, and all they can do is search it, Gardening for Food in the Philippines. And once they get it, they have to apply to be a member.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have to apply to be a member, and then they have to answer 3 questions. It's very simple. If they
Mhm.
don't answer that question, they get rejected, because we need to know why they want to become a member, because we do provide some assistance.
Mhm.
So we need to make sure that the people joining is because they're really interested and become a part of the group for what it is for. um, and then, but there are also some, like, in the middle of nowhere where they don't have internet. Like, for
Mhm.
example, we adopted a community somewhere in Maguindanao, and the reason why we adopted a gardening community there is because they do not have, like, not all of them has phones,
Mhm.
because middle of nowhere. And then the government aid is doesn't really reach there. So their barangay captain and their village leaders decided to reach out to us. So we adopted
Mhm.
them. We sent training them. We sent seeds, and we sent fertilizers and stuff. And it was doing really well. They have like this big garden for the entire, for the community.
Mhm.
But then it got flooded up to the waistline,
Mhm.
so it disappeared. So it was really sad. So, but anyway, we're going back next year to start over because of that. And then, but it's really sad that but that's the way it is. Like, so when a community wants to be adopted, they know that we have something there in our Facebook that says, you have to reach out to us and talk to us. And then in order for their community group to become a member, they don't have to join online. We have a sign up sheet that
Mhm.
we to the community leader, their barangay captain, or
Mhm.
something like that, and then they just have a letter, a list of people who attended our training, for
Mhm.
example, and then they send it to us. And then so these people are members, even if they're not listed in our group, but they're listed manually in a piece of, on a file of paper. Um, there's another, like, for example, another leader in Negros Occidental has reached out to us
Mhm.
that their community also wanted to get some training on organic gardening and farming. So we are very excited to provide that
Mhm.
to them. When we finish our projects, we have projects and activities going on through the end of October. So once that's done, and then it's a U.S. holidays is the month of November and December. We rest those months, and then we start planning again in January and through, like, January. So
Mhm.
maybe around March we can go to Negros Oriental for that community that really wanted to have a training for themselves as well. So we reach out, and then we come to them. And then there is another place. There are places that will not, you know, and that we cannot really help. Like, for example, the Bangsamoro in somewhere in Marawi City in Mindanao, they
Mhm.
applied, but it's the school that applied. It's not the community. And I
Okay.
said, they have to be the community if they want the gardening, because
Mhm.
the Bangsamoro, you cannot just go in there. You have to get permission from so many
Mhm.
places before to go in. But if a community asks, then we will, stuff like that.
So how many communities do you have aside from your
Right now,
individual
right
members?
now we have 4
Or
communities that we adopted.
so that's all over
It
the Philippines, or
Yes, yeah, yeah. So hoping that we are going to increase that next year.
Mhm.
um yeah, and so we're very excited and hoping to, by the end of, like, maybe next year, we will have 1 million members.
Wow,
So
a
yes,
million
because
members within how
bubble,
many
if
years?
huh
How many years
so by
since you
okay, so
started?
we started, well, we became active really when the government closed down, 3 months after the
Mhm.
government closed down for COVID. And so now that we have so many activities, our membership is really, like, racking up. So now it's like 300,000 members. um, so the more activities that you have, the more that you show to the people that you're for real. At the
Mhm.
beginning, it was so funny because when we send out something, and then, hey, by the way, to a member, and they said, we you won seeds and all that stuff, and they're like, I don't want to give you an address because you might be a spammer and stuff. I said, it's
Mhm.
okay. I said, just go back to our programs and then look at it. and see and look at the members and whoever received before. And if you still want to receive it, then that's good, you know. If not, let me know. It's okay, you know,
Mhm.
because there's so much, you know, like illegal stuff going on in the internet right now. So they're really
Yeah.
scared.
Mhm.
They join, but there's a lot of people who join, but they're still like myself. I join other groups as well, but I'm also hesitant because
Mhm.
I'm on guard because there's
Mhm.
so hackers everywhere. So you have
Mhm.
people have to be, and I so I don't take offense on that at all. It's just like,
Mhm.
yes, I totally understand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, what type of reaction from your members that make you feel that this is, you know, it's
Oh,
validating what you're doing?
I love it. Okay, so the first time I went to the Philippines, I went back to the Philippines, and then when the members found out that I'm going, and they're like, "Oh my God, we're gonna do a meetup." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, okay," you know. So I was very relaxed about it. A meetup, maybe about 5 people wants to meet me
Mhm.
and stuff. But then I went to Manila, and all of a sudden, all these parade of people like coming to the Grand Health Hyatt in that newest Hyatt in the Philippines, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden I have these people outside the hotel. I'm like, oh my God,
You're
so
picketing.
they wanted to meet me, and I'm really happy. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was so touched. And then they were all bringing all kinds of stuff for me that
Mhm.
thanking me for what I do for them, and it was just they were just so grateful and so happy. And then last March that I went to the Philippines for a San Francisco delegation. I know I don't live in San Francisco, but most of my group is based in San Francisco. So I'm also a San Francisco representative when I go to the Philippines.
Mhm.
Um, so when we went there in San Francisco to the Philippines for the sister city, Manila, Cebu, and San Francisco sister city
Mhm.
delegation. So I was there, and then they found out that, and then they wanted to meet up again. And I said, oh, Yolanda has to see it because Yolanda was with me. Yolanda Stern, she's a co-founder of the One World Institute. So I took Yolanda there, and at that time, we had people come, and it was a big, big group that came, and so one of the member no a few members, they were able to talk to Yolanda, opportunity for them to say like what their experiences are as
Mhm.
since they joined the group. And some of them were crying, and we were crying too,
Wow.
because they lost their job,
Mhm.
and then for COVID, and then now they're gardeners, now they're producing their food, now they don't even want to go back to become office workers,
Mhm.
because now they have so much food in their backyard, and they can sell the surplus
Mhm.
to cover for the rest of the needs. It's just they cry because of that experience, where when they lose their job, they have no idea what to do next.
Mhm.
And then we have members that just like, oh my God, I have not planted even a flower in my life, and now there's I don't know if there's a lot of people who know about it, but in the Philippines there's actually like homesteading thing, where you can actually um where you can actually mm, the government will let you use the land as if
Mhm.
it's your own, but it's not. The government owns it, but as long as you like do something productive with it,
Mhm.
you produce something, like you plant product, like you farm and everything, that you can actually use those lands. So
It's
from no
homestead.
it's kind of like a homestead, yes.
Mhm.
So from someone who did not even plant a single thing before she was a member, now she has a homestead that is really active and really flourishing, and she's just like, I who doesn't I just loved it. I love seeing
Mhm.
it. The members are just so. And then the next time I went to Mindanao, where I grew up,
Mhm.
right? And when I went there, and then the bus full of people meeting me, and they have this big hall for like a reception for me because of the gardening, and all
Mhm.
these people that attended. And and then it was just because of how they were grateful of
Mhm.
the that because we do provide all these services throughout the country.
Mhm.
And I really think, like now that, so when we became really big, now the big problem is like the bigger it is, the more money you need, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I really am very thankful for Yolanda Stern for actually coming in and helping me out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really like the main sponsor now, and I love it. So
Mm-hmm.
we work together. Well, we work together with a lot of things, but this is like the major one that I really try to take on because I love gardening
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Should have asked Yolanda to be in this call.
Yeah, but she's really busy. I don't know. I want next time let's
Mm-hmm.
do a. I'm gonna be in San Francisco in the last week of October. Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
can do a house call for both of us.
Okay.
you know so we can schedule that. and
Mm-hmm.
then um and then in my latest, we are all members of the Lions Club, the group that's One World Institute. So um because of that, the Cosmopolitan Lions Club of San Francisco, which I am a member, is also a co-founder, now a co-sponsor of this gardening project. And then the latest partner that we took in is the Asia America Initiative. Um, in so they're very latest. So the bigger we are, now we're three, co-sponsors. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that it will become, as we become bigger, then we are going to have a more sponsors to help us out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good, but at the same time our members really help out too. Our members like donate seeds, because seeds is very important for the group. And we decided to have like master gardeners within our group. So now we have our master gardener. Anybody who's a member in our group and don't know how to start a garden,
Mm-hmm.
they can log in, and then they ask a question, and all the expert comes in and gives their advice
Mm-hmm.
instantly. Like there's like a
This is from your
hundred.
in your Facebook group.
Yes. It's like all you need to do is ask. You have an infestation in your
Mm-hmm.
plant, and you don't know what to do because you don't want to buy a bad, insecticide
Mm-hmm.
for your garden because you eat that stuff. So all they do is they go in our group and ask, hey, I have infestation, here's the picture, what do I use that's organic? And everybody will just right away, the experts will right away go in and say, okay, this is what you're going to do, what you're
Mm-hmm.
going to use, you create this and all that. It's a very, very interactive group,
Mm-hmm.
and they cannot wait to help each other. That's the
Mm-hmm.
best part. These people cannot wait to help each other, and know everybody is so generous, and everybody is just like waiting to like, I'm gonna just help, I'm gonna help, and I can't wait to help anyone. So it's really cool. Can't I think I chose the best part. um yeah.
What are your immediate and future plans, events?
Okay, immediate events. We have this September 16. We have a live broadcast from La Union. La Union is a Philippine province. Is La Union a province? Yeah,
Yes.
right? Yeah, in La
Luzon.
Union. Yeah. So in La Union, we have a live broadcast. I'll be there, and the host will be about our top 25 members.
Mm-hmm.
These are like the most active members that are in the area. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
they're actually from different parts of the world, in Mindanao, Visayas, and Luzon, put
Mm-hmm.
together, and we're all hosting a live broadcast. And
Oh.
these live broadcasts will show you exactly what they do, what are their favorite um, homemade fertilizer, and then they're going to
Uh-huh.
tell you to make them. um, so that's the best, the event. And then we're also going to do a meetup in La Union on that day. So any member that's from La Union, or from a
Mm-hmm.
different or from different provinces, can go to La Union. But La Union is a difficult place to get to. It's very far from Manila. We
Uh,
take a bus to Baguio, and then from Baguio we take another bus to La Union. But on September 29, there's also another meetup, and in Manila. So in Manila is always like the biggest meetups we have for members, because it's
mm-hmm.
easier to get to from all over the country. There's
Mm-hmm.
planes, there are buses that goes to Manila directly. So, and people, it's like they think it's like really easy to get to. So we're gonna do that. And then the second one is September 22nd. We are going to have a live, actual, face to face. But I'm going to, if there's good internet, I'm going to also do a live broadcast online.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a training, organic gardening and farming for in Kidapawan. Kidapawan is in Cotabato.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's going to be attended with about 500 people. But
Mm-hmm.
if you are interested, if you are in Kidapawan, in Davao, or in Cotabato, and you wanted to attend, all they need to do is to let us know so we can add them to the list. But right now we have 500 people, but the
Mm-hmm.
gymnasium we're using can accommodate 1,000 people. So anyone is invited. They just need to let us know, so we add them to the list. Um, and then after that, like I said, the 29th, and then the October 6th,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to, oh, and in Kidapawan as well, we're actually building a model garden. So the indigenous people already, the women, oh my God, these women are just fabulous. They cleared all grass area. There's just nothing there. They just
Mm-hmm.
grass. They cleaned it all up, and then now there's gardens ready to be planted. So my executive assistant in Baguio sent them the seeds that needs to be planted now. So they started planting in the garden. So that
Mm-hmm.
way, arrive there's already like seedlings that needs to be transplanted, and we're gonna make it an official uh, garden for model garden for our gardening project. Our seeds is called Seeds of Hope.
Mm-hmm.
So um,
Seeds of hope.
that
Yeah, it's a good one.
Seeds of Hope, yeah. So that we're gonna have a banner outside the
Mm-hmm.
the garden, and then it will say Seeds of Hope model garden, and then the next one to that is we are going to copies. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
where copies is? Yeah, copies in Negros Oriental, I think, right? Oh no, Occidental. Like it's like they're Ilonggo there.
Yes, Capiz is
Yeah,
along.
yeah. So we are going to be the school because we also support schools and
Mm-hmm.
students and stuff and um, like the other project, you know. So we're going to this town in Capiz in not a town but somewhere in the mountains there. They have a high school, and we found out from our members, the mother of the members, we were talking about one night, one day I watched their chat, and they're members of the gardening. They said, oh my God, our children now is going to be in high school and I don't know how we can afford the notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what? And I did not involve myself in the conversation, but I was watching. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, each one of them needs 10 notebooks, and each notebook costs 60 pesos. How are we
Mm-hmm.
going to afford 10 notebooks each student? Our children will have 10 notebooks each.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I sent the members like a private message, and I said, hey, let me know more about your school, how
Mm-hmm.
many school students and stuff, and see if we can help, because One World Institute is very into like helping all that stuff. So I got the information. They have about 104 high school
Mm-hmm.
students. So now we decided to like give all the notebooks, I pencil bag and full of pencils and backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're gonna go there on October 6th, and we're gonna distribute during lunch break, and for during lunch break, and then after that, because it's lunch break, we have to feed
Mm-hmm.
them, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna feed them too, and then go back. But now they're gonna be so because of that, and then now because we are also a gardening group, we
Mm-hmm.
are now going to create a model garden in that school. So we're also sending them the seeds and all that information, and then we're gonna like make sure that a garden is created before we leave, stuff like that. So that
Where-
way the students, we want to train the kids from small
Mm-hmm.
to want to garden, and to how fun it is to be able to go back to your backyard and go back inside the house with food in your hands, you know. So
So this is in Capiz.
yeah, town is in copies, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to forgive me. I cannot remember the community name, but it's in the mountains. Because I asked them, are there rich members on that school or students? And then they said, no, ma'am, Tess, no. The school is in the mountains and everybody is poor. And I said,
Hmm.
really? I said, yeah, everybody's poor. So I'm like, oh, okay, then, yeah, I guess we can help them. So Yolanda is so like, I talked to Yolanda and I said, let's help. And then she said, yeah, sure, let's do it. But it's really cool to have a friend that you can do,
Hmm.
that really supports these
Hmm.
things. Really awesome. I'm so lucky. I'm lucky to met her, and I'm lucky to have, it's like someone that I can like. If I have something that I like to do for the people, I
Hmm.
discuss it, and most of the time she's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea," and that's really good, and it inspires me to do more.
All right, Tess, I have some pictures here, and maybe you can just give a brief description of what's going on.
Oh, these are one of our seeds, and so members are showing the seeds that they create and all that they produce and all that stuff for our gardening group. Yes. This is for let me see, it's tiny. So
It's
let's
just
see.
barbering.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So like I said, One World Institute in partners with Asia America and San Francisco Lions Club. We do provide gardening training.
Hmm.
Um, and then actually there is an agency in the Philippines that actually gives out the certification. It's not in my head right now. Senior moment, I guess. It's a group that actually is an agency in the Philippines that actually gives out that certification when they're done. So these are for the prisoners, actually, for the people in prison, so that
Uh-huh.
way so when they come out of prison, they have a job, and then when they come out of prison, then we give them their kits, their barbering kit,
Yeah.
so they can actually work. They
Hmm.
cannot like, oh, I have a license, but I don't
Hmm.
have a kit. So we actually provide them with a kit.
Mm, nice.
Yeah. Um, this is the school that we try to help build, that we
Hmm.
help build in Kidapawan. Um, so these people this is literally like last week picture,
Hmm.
just trying to show where they are, and trying to like working really hard to finish so that when I arrive, it will be all done. Yeah, so this is like in the mountains. And the people that are working here, by the way, are all volunteers.
Hmm.
So it's just like the parents and members of the community, they come and help out. We provide the materials and all that. So it's just amazing how the community goes together. And Yolanda has a project manager there. Her name is Retchen,
Hmm.
and she reports to us and what's the status, what we need, and all that stuff. So and takes all the pictures and send it to us. It's really good. Um, these are examples of, okay, so as you can see, these are the
These
seeds
are
that
the heirlooms.
these
No.
are heirloom seeds. And as you can see, these are Baker Creek seeds.
Hmm.
Baker Creek is top of the line seeds from the US. And
Hmm.
it's literally like 99% germination. So
Hmm.
each seed you plant is 99% sure that they will grow, that they will actually like have a seedling that comes out. So that's what they get. And then that's why we teach them. So we teach them how to produce their own seeds because these are not cheap seeds, but this is what they need.
So one packet would be what equivalent to how many?
Seeds,
How can you make? Oh, what's the how much can you produce with one packet?
well, a packet is probably, depending on what kind of seeds, they're probably about like 200, some 300 seeds.
Seeds.
And-
Hmm.
yeah, and we repackage that because, like, for example, the eggplant. Each member can 10 seeds for each member is a lot already, and
Hmm.
then you want then with that 10 seeds you can produce a lot of eggplants, and then you can only have like two for seeds. You just have two or three eggplants that you just leave to like become brown, and
Hmm.
once they're brown you can harvest it for seeds. That's it. And so now you have heirloom, and then you can plant again, because if you buy
Hmm.
hybrid seeds, they do not produce fruits. So it's only a one-time use. They genetically modify it so that way it will not produce fruits again. So
Mm-hmm.
that way, when you want to plant again, you have to go back to the seed seller and buy new seeds, and you're always going to be dependent and with them, and then buying seeds from them all the time. But if you have heirloom, just
Mm-hmm.
produce your own seeds and plant them, and then you have your own thing. And that is why they're also expensive, because you might not come back to them and buy more seeds.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, these are like one of our some of our members also do mushrooms inside their
Uh-huh.
house. They culture mushrooms. This is the one in Maguindanao. So
Okay. Yeah.
sometimes we go in the middle of nowhere, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't have buildings. So we do our training under the trees, and they're just like I just love the support and the participation of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were so excited to attend the training and all that. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, there was a big typhoon that came
Mm-hmm.
and flooded the garden like up to like the waistline and destroyed everything. So now we have to start over, and so we're planning of going next year again to Maguindanao, and and this community. It's not the entire Maguindanao. It's only a community, and yeah, they're very very nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's Maguindanao. And this is actually this is my executive assistant, like in gardening for food. She is
Mm-hmm.
based in Baguio. She's literally full time in
Mm-hmm.
this endeavor um, for One World Institute, and she's very good. She's very active. Plus, she's also a master gardener now. It's like you look at this plant and you say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that cannot be organic because it's so big, right?
That's just one.
That's just one, yes. But it is. She is 100% organic. What they do is so outside her, at the back of her house, there's like
Mm-hmm.
not much backyard, because her backyard is like a hill, kind of
Yeah.
like,
It looks like.
remember Charles' house where there's a hill on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't actually, the hill doesn't belong to them. So they ask the owner if they can just garden that hill, and now she has like a vast garden there. And before it used to have like snakes and rats that
Mm-hmm.
lived and everything. Now not anymore. It's all vegetable and clean.
Vegetable.
Yeah, and she's the best producer. Her and 10 of the members who became friends using
Mm-hmm.
with this group, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody creates friendships in this group. It's amazing. And then they started actually from the gardens that they have in the backyard. They produce their own seeds and they sell them. And these are all organic seeds, organic and heirloom seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're heirloom seeds producer and seller, and it's produced from their backyards.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have like a commercial garden of farming where they have a commercial farm just producing seeds. No, no, no. These are backyard, and they only sell their surplus. They just produce so much. That's why they
Mm-hmm.
have surplus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
they would sell it. They don't have to go, like bring it to the market,
no,
right?
no,
Just
no, because
people
we
come.
have so much in Baguio alone. She's
Mm-hmm.
based in Baguio. In Baguio alone, we have so much members in Baguio. You can
Mm-hmm.
just post it in our group. If you're a gardener, you can sell every day, but if you're a commercial like farmer and everything, you can only do it once a week.
Mm-hmm.
But we encourage our gardener to be able to post what their excesses, their surplus,
Mm-hmm.
then they to share, to barter, or to sell anytime, because you don't only need food in your house, you also
Mm-hmm.
need toothbrush, toothpaste,
Yeah.
soap, right? And if you can
Mm-hmm.
sell your surplus to get these things, that's a huge help. So yeah, they posted, they say, hey, I have surplus seeds and I'll sell it for like 50 pesos a packet, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. How about this guy?
um this guy is not.
Remember?
He was a member, and but he's not. He's. I think he left our organization.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Probably one of the
are
daughters.
yeah, this is another member who is, training. They train there. I also always tell them that it's really good to start your children small, like
Mhm,
start them liking to garden now when they're little, because not when they're adult. Because I started loving garden when I was in elementary,
mhm,
growing in school. In our backyard, we always have vegetables. In
mhm,
our in Magpataw, we always
mhm,
had vegetables, and that's very very I cannot remember, I cannot forget that memory, and I think it was precious.
mhm.
We have to start from children. um yeah, so these are seeds, and then
Mustard
yeah,
seed.
mustard. Do you know that mustard is like so popular in the entire Philippines? They grow like crazy there. i,
Mhm,
I think the mustard thrives in the climate.
mhm.
It's like everywhere there's mustard. It's just like, it's really cool.
Okay, I think that's about it as far as the pictures are concerned. So, before we wrap up, so based on your experience so far, since you started you and your organization started this your projects, what
Mhm.
are life lessons that maybe that you've learned that maybe you want to share to our audience?
Life lessons that people are good.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I always like didn't trust people. Um, I'm, so, but this group had taught me a lot, that
Mm-hmm.
a lot people are naturally good inside, and human are actually good inside.
Mm-hmm.
And, so and then if you only like give them trust and respect, that most likely they will give it to you in return. So, and that's what I really learned, because I was not friendly growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and um, so actually they even called me an exorcist, but when we were kids, because I was really snobbish.
Mm-hmm.
But they really taught me to become more human and
Mm-hmm.
more humble, and it's more fun that way. I love every time I meet these people. I learned how being generous makes you happy. And
Mm-hmm.
now, like, this one person asked me, I'm just not happy. And I'm like, no, it's easy. It's like, how is it to be happy? And I said, it's easy. Find someone you can help.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Find someone you can do something for, just even a little. I promise you, you feel good about yourself and you'll be happy. And that's it. Just find someone to help,
Mm-hmm.
and life will be good and you'll be happier. And that's really what I know. Like, people are naturally good.
So I guess the last two statements there was find someone you can help,
Uh
and
huh.
people are genuinely good.
Yes, genuinely good. I truly believe that deep in the hearts of the people, they are really
Mhm.
good. They're really good inside.
All right, I think that wraps it up, Tess.
Thank you so much, Don, for making time and having me as your guest.
Hmm. And maybe in the future we can have Yolanda and other members of
Absolutely.
the group, especially
Yes,
with your upcoming events.
that we can invite Yolanda, and we can invite a bunch of members,
Hmm.
and they can talk about their experiences as a member of the group. That would be so awesome.
All right,
Perfect. And let's
all right,
schedule another time.
okay. Thank you,
Thank
Tess.
you. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Bye bye.
Bye.